Hey guys, Steven Martinez with The American Dream. I just want to say a big thanks to all our supporters and fans. It's because of you guys that we're able to keep growing. Having said that, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. It means a lot to us. That's what helps us keep growing. And also, I hope you guys enjoy the next episode. Hey guys, welcome back to The American Dream podcast. I'm here with a very special guest, Wendy Harmeyer.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Stephen, for the invite. It's an honor to be here.
I guess we're mutual friends now through Dominic.
Yeah.
And Dominic has spoken very highly of you. I guess for anyone that doesn't know Wendy, take us through your story. I know you spoke at our event. Thank you, by the way. It was a very beautiful story. Yeah, just kind of walk us through your childhood to where you are now.
So I'm from Quito, Ecuador, which is, my opinion, one of the most beautiful places on earth. So we're the second highest city in the world. After La Paz, Bolivia, like in South America. So always beautiful weather. It's a forever fall in Quito. We're in the middle of the world, so I never deal with different weather changes. Like Ecuador is right there and Quito is always in the 70s. So I grew up in this beautiful paradise out of great food and great family values, a lot of freedom. My parents raised us in private schools, and I had just so much blessing. Not only on the economical thing, I wouldn't say that we were super rich, but we had things, and we were just blessed with happiness. Like my dad is the 12th of 12 brothers and sisters, so big family. My mom only has one sister, my aunt Wendy, actually passed away when she was 14 out of leukemia, and my dad's side of the family is super big, and then it's just my mom and my aunt Gabby. So we grew up in a lot of family value, and through having things, my dad always made sure that we stay very humble. And he used to say one thing, that the family that eats together stays together.
The family that eats together stays together?
It stays together, and it didn't matter what we were eating, but if it was my parents and my brother and myself, even eating rice with egg, we were together. Or we were at a steakhouse in Panama City, we were together. And I took that pretty deep into heart as I was growing up. I was invited to do a poetry contest. For some reason, I really enjoy talking.
Poetry?
Yeah, and I was 11 years old, and they were like, there's this contest, and I'm like, I think I'll do it. I love to speak. And my dad is like, oh, you do great, let's train. And that's when you find out your first mentor was my dad, and he would make me practice and really to a high level. It was okay, if you want to win this thing, you need to stay straight and let's do this. And I went in there and I won. And to be 11 years old and see people clapping and getting inspired by a poem, and see my dad being the first person there, that was the very moment when I realized I would like to earn life doing this, just inspiring people and helping them on some way. I didn't have clarity. I was 11 years old, but just the feeling of we are just having people that listens to you, and for that very moment you could impact their life. That was when my American dream started. From there, I just needed to figure out ways to stay humble and inspire people. So I grew up with these high core values of integrity and just doing the right thing for the right reasons. And my mom is super powerful. She's a very, very powerful woman. And to grow up in Ecuador, where every woman should be just a mom, and you just are made to raise kids. It is so crazy, but this story was very impactful. I was maybe 6-7 years old, and I still remember this. And I used to go to a Catholic girls' school, private. And all my classmates' moms used their husband's last name, but it's not here in America where I am Wendy Harmeyer. They use it I don't know, Margarita de la Rea, Sandra de Lopez, where it's like an owning, like off.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's like off, right? Like so, they always put it like that or whatever, like Maria Jose de Velázquez, and my mom always put Carla Aus. What was her last name? So when we were calling school, it was like Carla Aus. Who is the daughter of Carla Aus? And I'm like, it's me. And one day I asked my mom, like, why don't you put Carla de Merizalde? It's just what everybody else does. And she's like, because I have my own last name. And my dad gave it to me. And I'm like, that's powerful. Why do you believe in that? Because I'm not property of your dad. We're a team. We're married.
That's a good point. I've never really seen it that way. That's a very good point.
It was awesome. And I was like, wow, like, why? And she's like, because I'm my own person. I'm just married to him and we are raising a family, but I'm Carla Aus. And that make a very big impact to know that the woman that is raising me has that much confidence on herself. And I was super crazy because my mom is tall for being Ecuadorian and she uses like big high heels and has beautiful curly hair. And anytime she walks in a room, and when I was little, you could tell that she's coming in like with like the heels, and all my friends were like super like, oh my gosh, that's your mom? And I'm like, yeah, that's my mom. And I cannot even describe it, like her power. I think she's the first feminist that I really met, and she doesn't even want to be told one because of how the feminist movement is right now. Like, it's just like, no, but if you're a woman, you just need to go grab it. We're all people. And she was always like a go-getter, never a no. My dad is super mellow on the other side, and he's just like, you're That's my awesome, little princess. Your mom is my queen. And like, he always did breakfast on Sunday on bed for my mom, because she did it the rest of the weekends. Like, no, today you are the queen of the house. And just to see like this mom jerk, like super powerful, and my dad being super mellow. I was raised into a family where we can do anything that you want to do, but you need to work for it. And to see my parents like really give their lives in Ecuador to raise us in private schools, and they giving up anything for my brother and myself to have opportunities that they maybe didn't, or they didn't took. And I just grew up blessed with values. I wouldn't call it things, but I never had the need of when you say like people talk about like when you want to eat. I just did it out of passion and because it's right. So at 20 years old, I'm studying biotechnology engineering in a private college. Fast forward, I became the president of my high school. So at this point, I was speaking a lot, and it was a very great one too. This other guy that was competing against me in high school had a lot of money. His dad was like a big CEO of like public companies in Quito, like big money. But
you went to high school in Quito as well?
What? Yeah, in Quito. Okay. So it was like, okay, I want to be the president. And like Dominic speaks, like I made my mind. I was going to win this thing. And I made the decision. So I went to my parents and it's like, well, we're competing with a very wealthy guy and I need money. And my parents are like, okay, we have $200, like try to figure it out. And we made the best out of this $200, like little sandwich, my aunt and uncle, like going out there, my mom, and it rained. And it was such a disaster. And all I wanted to do was go to my mom and say like, have a pity party for myself. And it's like, Mom, like I may not win. And she's like, wait a minute. You're going to go out there and you're going to go on a stage because I didn't raise cry babies. And I was okay. And I did it. And then we went to like the debate and she's like, do you know how powerful you are? And I'm like, you are like guessing. And I'm like, I don't know, but this guy has money. It's like, money is not everything. You're going to go in there and you're going to show how you're passionate about this because you're going to take this school to the next level. And I'm like, okay. And we were going through the debate and this guy dropped the mic. He couldn't handle it. I was like asking him just questions of like, how would you plan to do that? Like, how are you going to? And he couldn't handle it. And, from getting on when getting started and everybody's clapping to him and booing me, because when you're a kid, you're just mean to each other when you don't believe in that. Having my mom in the back of the room, just being there, was like that mentorship, right? And I never realized that my parents were my first mentors. Such a powerful like vibe.
Yeah.
It was great, and I wanted. Then I'm studying biotechnology engineer. I wanted to be an environmental lawyer, because Ecuador is the most biodiversity place in the world by square foot. So I'm like, that is impact the world, and I can like help. And so I studied Portuguese to go to Brazil, where is the biggest biodiverse like country in the world. Mm-hmm. And I'm going on my own right after college. I'm like, I just want to go in there, so I don't speak Spanish. I go and speak just Portuguese. And it's so funny how God works. But the day I got into that cruise ship on my own, I'm 22 years old. I went for my birthday too. I met my husband at the hot tub of that cruise ship in Argentina.
Oh,
going
really?
to Brazil. And we met there. And
how old are you?
Right now I'm 30.
No, like when you met him.
22.
Okay, you've been together for 8 years.
Yeah, 7. So I was 23 at the cruise ship. Like that was my birthday.
Okay.
And I met him, and this guy, like if you met Dan, he's just a lot of happiness and good vibes and booyah. And like, I'm like, dude, where are you from? He's like, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm like, I don't know where that is. And he's like, where are you from? Quito, Ecuador. I don't know where that is. And we're just sharing stories. And like the night comes, and we went for dinner, and fast forward, we got married 3 months later on July 7th. We got married in Vegas in 7/7/17.
7/7/17. On purpose or just?
Yeah, I needed. We were doing my green. Like it was a decision. We needed to get married because I was in Ecuador and he had 4 kids in Cincinnati, and it was like, let's just get married. And he's like, sure. And it just felt so right, because I don't know how to explain, but even when I touch his hand, it's like we're connected. It's like, it's weird. So we knew that we needed to be together. And I went from the most beautiful, no weather restriction country in the world, out of like being in private college, to Cincinnati, Ohio, where the weather changes every second, like hard winter, hot summer. And I start to struggle, like my husband's family is German Irish, so they don't speak Spanish at all. They don't even eat avocado. It's like no, like burgers and hot dogs is what we
like
do
the German
here.
diet.
Super American, and I couldn't even follow the conversations because they speak fast, and I know English. I studied English in Ecuador, but when they start talking, you're like, and then he realized, and it's like, okay, we need to speak. But for the first time ever, I was not on the groove of winning, of like being on my environment. My parents are far away, so mom cannot help me out anymore. And I'm now a woman. I'm a married woman with this like German Irish guy, and it's like, how is this gonna work? Like I've been just put on a bubble all my life, just through high education, and now it's like, okay, we need to do laundry and dishes and cook, and I'm like, I don't know how to do all that. I don't even know how to like turn on a vacuum. I'm like, normally my mom does that, like, so I can study, right? The American dream, like they are doing. And my husband's like, well, we're partners, and back to I was like, yeah, marriage is a partnership. So it was so difficult, Steven, like those first 2 years of my marriage, not because of my husband, but just like the culture shift. No Spanish at all, no Hispanic food. I'm like going through this transition, my body's changing. I'm like, and then the next big event happened, like after 7 months of being in Cincinnati, I was doing my green card. And my green card interview is like, the lawyer is like, you cannot change that, whatever you have going on. Like, if we reschedule this thing, it's gonna take us another year.
Wow.
And my husband had to do a course for lead abatement to help a family in Cincinnati, and the only lead abatement course in Cincinnati was that day. And I'm like, Dan, that's the interview day, like we cannot miss that. And he's like, okay, let's look other cities, and we found one in Cleveland. So it's like, okay, let's go to Cleveland. And my husband owns Universal Windows Direct in Cincinnati and Dayton, where it's a home improvement national brand right now. I think Universal does $200 million.
Wow.
He joined in 2012, so we're a dealership located there, and Universal is started in Cleveland. So he's calling his friends from Universal family, and that's why the power of networking is so big.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, I'm going to go to Cleveland to do this letter payment. And the president of the dealership development is like, just come and stay at my house. And it's like, sure, I'm going with Wendy, and she's just going to be there. And it just so happened that same week was the training for all the new dealers, like new people buying Universal. And he's like, what do you want to go with me? Like, you just married like that, so it would be good that you know it. Sure. And that was the very first sales training that I attended with Bill Barr, who was the co-founder of Universal. And that was when he gave me this gift. And I'm like, you're telling me that if I learn this thing, I can help my husband grow his business? Yeah. And you're telling me exactly how to do it? Like, if I say these exact words, I'll do it. I'm a super systematic. I'm an engineer. And I'll do it. And I grabbed it and learned it and started teaching other people along me. And all these other salespeople that have been doing it for 20, 25 years were upselling, like, literally I was 24 at the time. We're upselling all these other guys, like, by massive. We're charging for Windows like crazy money. And he's like, oh my God. And if we keep teaching this, like, we can grow our business. So we're doing like 1.1 million all the way to 6 million in about like 4 years. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy good. So thing is, when I met Dominic, and I'm like, the power of Dominic, like when you talk to him, he's the real deal. It's like, he cares. So I was talking to my husband one day, and it's like, just imagine the power of Dominic's like system and what Bill taught me back in the day, that the only reason why I was there is because to don't miss the interview in Cincinnati. Like, all these things lining up. But just imagine if we can do it in Spanish, and I can give that back to where I am from. Because I live in Ecuador for 23 years. How powerful that could be. And he's like, yeah, but we have a lot to do. And I'm like, yeah, we're building the business. And then I think he realized it, and he's like, I cannot stop her of doing her dream. So he could like talk to Dominic the next day, and he's like, when is gonna build like your whole selling system in Spanish? And I'm like, am I? He's like, yeah, that's your dream, right? He's like, yeah, we're gonna do whatever it takes, take off like out of work, do whatever it takes, but you're gonna follow your dream, and I'm gonna be part of it. I'm your husband, and we're partners, and we're gonna make it work. And we did it. Like, fast forward, I did write the Bible in Spanish with the context, and I'm just very grateful for Dominic even like passing that baton, because like he said, this is such a big deal. I was honored to like really keep following that legacy of Rick Grosso, and I met Rick in 2020 on one of the Grosso events, and he didn't know who I am, and here I am like, thank you, like now I can do a life for myself and help my husband and build this business because of you. And just the amount of power that other people that you don't even know can do because you are doing something different and don't getting comfortable. And I was thinking about it because now Dominic is one of my mentors, but I follow Natalie and Brandon Dawson, if you're familiar with them. But they are very deep into success is your duty, your obligation, and your responsibility. So when you get comfortable, somebody is literally getting affected because you are getting to, like, you're just getting on that comfort zone. And I truly believe that if we want to make an impact in this world, all of us that we've been blessed need to go and do it and find ways to give back what this life has given us. And so I wrote that book of like the selling steps in Spanish, and now it's my mission to my big goal is to at some point like really do an impact in the Hispanic community where we can stop human trafficking on kids. Like I watched the movie The Sound of Freedom with my husband about 7 months ago.
It's a good movie.
And we're crying, and Dan is like, why is the United States have to be the buyer? Like he's feeling guilty by being American. Like he's like, why? And I'm like, let's do something about it. And he's like, yeah, like it's not okay that these kids are going through this. So, sales and like in home improvement and human trafficking. I don't have that like clarity on how all this is gonna come together, but I know God will provide the right mentors, the right people, the right like channels to get like an impact on this world. So
let me ask you a question. Where does the passion behind helping the Latino community specifically come from for you?
Because we are Latinos. Like I love when I go to Ecuador, first thing I do is go to the popular market and eat my seco de pollo, you know? Like it's one of those things that I am Ecuadorian. Like I'm from Quito, and when you go back home and you are not different and you talk like the same slang and it's just like de una, let's go and see my friends is one of those moments of all that I am is because of where I come from. And now I believe like all that I am is because of all these other places that I've been and all these amazing people that has been great at sharing. So if we don't go back to where our roots started and embrace our core values of family, of being together, of humbleness, of happiness. Like when I go to Ecuador for New Year's, people don't have money, but they are so happy. Like they get their little stereo out and dance and they share whatever they got. Like, you want this drink? Sure. Like, and we drink out of the same cup, for the God's sake. Like, it's just so, we're all one. And I do believe we have that eye of the tiger. We're just not given the opportunity. And I know just so many people that just wants the opportunity, but they don't know to speak English, or they cannot come to this country. And if they come illegally, sacrificing their lives. Like for Ecuador, they have to cross the Darien jungle and go to Mexico, and then once in Mexico, go and like cross the river and all that. I'm like, holy cow, why we don't take that and just do it there? Because we have the resources, we have the natural like power, we have the talent. And it's just so sad to see all the people that I knew that is good, how now they live in all these different countries. And you know, my friends that make it big live in Germany, live in Australia, live in the Netherlands, I live here. And it's like, when are we gonna change it if we all keep living? And it's okay to live. It's, you know, the United States is the abundance, I'm American now, but we need to go back and give it back on some way. And that's the passion. Like I was born there. I need to give back, because every time I go, that is my people. Like I think Alan was like in the speech, like that's my family. And now I see that not only for Latinos, but my German, Irish, like American family. Like it's like we're all in this, we're all humans. So let's get back to what I can relate first, that is my Ecuadorian background, and then let's keep just giving back to everybody that is willing to put the work and do the hustle, because the American dream is not a handout. You need to go work hard. It doesn't matter if you grew up with money or not. You just need to make up your mind and go do it. Like Dominic said, just make that decision and everything is possible. It's just comfort what you make it so high, and then it's like, okay, I'm good. And that's when people stop. And I do believe if all of us just have that same level of passion, other people will follow, and instead of going corruption, it will go great. So why not?
What's I guess that key element behind your mentality and your confidence and your drive?
I give it to my parents. Like I really think having a strong mom and showing that she could do anything she wanted. And my dad is, you know, the 12 of 12 brothers and sisters, and he's an engineer. He's studying at public college. He became a dad at 18 years old, and it just never stopped them. And I do believe that people that just has the right people that believe in them, and maybe may not come from their parents, but mentors or somebody. For my dad was my Uncle Jimmy, you know, like they didn't have much, but when my dad did a good job at school, he used to take him and buy him new shoes. And that was like for him, like, oh my gosh, like somebody believes in me, I need to make it right. And for my mom, like just all the people that like she was around and just seeing life, and it's like, no, we're gonna make it right. And I think it's just the key element to look to the right people, doing the right things with ethic and integrity. Because it's very easy in the Latino population, see the money and you know that that money is not coming from right funds, and people still knows it but do it, and then it's like, oh my gosh. But when you see the people that is doing it the right way and they have this abundance mentality, don't resent them. Join that and show others how to do it, because if we pull each other down or make each other feel guilty because of achieving success and having nice stuff for the work that we did, we all could be stuck in that middle instead of lifting it up. So I think that is the key. Look to the right people doing the right things with the right ethics, and go do it. Like, take action, because sometimes we just get on our own head and nothing gets done, and here we have 1 day wasted, 1 week, 1 year, your whole life.
Yeah.
So I just go do it. Like, that is my big thing. Like, if somebody teaches me how and I see that they are good people and it worked, I grab it, and it's like, I don't why not, right? The American dream has already been shown since the 40s.
Yeah.
It's hard work and good people. So I just go do it.
Man, Dominic, thank you for introducing me to Wendy, man. When I met Dominic and I met you, you seem very like shy, you know, like, oh, nice to meet you, but wow, you're powerful. I love it. I love the energy.
I do my best. I want girls in all over the world
That's
to
awesome.
know that we are equal, and
I loved it.
we just have to go grab it. And anybody, I
love it.
anybody.
Nothing's stopping. I love that. I'm the same way. I wake up, nothing will ever stop me.
You can make excuses, or you can make things happen, but you can't do both.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of struggles, and there's great days on every person's days. And if they tell you, no, my life is all happy, they lie about other things too. I learned that line from Dominic. But if you realize life and you do want to get on a comfortable zone, whatever that looks like, it takes the same amount of energy to be successful than to be just average. And
that's true.
If we're gonna all live this beautiful life, why do it averagely? So I'm very, if we're all gonna live what life expectancy of 70, 80 years old, whatever, I can either do an impact and be truly happy with the people that I love and the people that wants to follow and put the work, or I can just be average and blame the government, life, whatever. But I think God put us in this planet to, so beautiful. You know, I study biotechnology engineering, so understanding the genetics and like the language of God, of every cell, of everything, like of the universe, for just to come here and be average. I don't think that's our purpose in life, is to make God's creation even greater, and we as humans have done it. But now it's like take each person to take it to that next level, first on their own lives, then for the people that they love, and then for others that they can touch, until it becomes a big movement, one person at a time.
What's your end goal in like the next 10, 15 years? What do you want to do, just in general?
So one of the big things is like doing the sales training and doing it in Spanish and English is the gift that keeps giving. So when I see my sales reps like raise their families, my husband has these funny things, like I start a business for survival and I stay for the people. And I'm like, why? Because when you start seeing that parking lot getting fuller, and you know that it is your hard work that feeds every single one of their kids, they go on vacation, it's just that moment of like, I need to make it bigger so we can help more people for the right reasons. And I think we want to grow our business. Our 10-year goal is to make it a $45 million company. In 10 years, we believe we can do it to 20 million with the help of great people like Cross University and other mentors that we follow, Brandon and Natalie Dawson. And we want to build this business for the right core values, discipline, like having the integrity, result-driven, like, and be people, so people can make money for themselves. And we are in the home improvement industry, so we believe that if we do the right home improvement work, our community, our beautiful Cincinnati and Dayton is going to be one of the best places to live in America if we just do it right. So that's our passion in the business. As a person, I just want to be able to inspire more people on like getting out of the comfort zone, whatever that looks like, and start doing one change at a time so your life can look better for you and for the people that you love. Get back to Ecuador. I want to open a school there and like just grab kids and like teach them this, but make them earn it. Like do community work or I in that 5-year period, I just feel that events like yours, what is phenomenal, the American dream, and I do believe that God is going to put us with the right people at the right place, and it's just going to happen. So it's between building a good, profitable business that is here in America to give back to our Cincinnati and Dayton community while doing it for the Hispanic community with my husband, and like the amount of people that we can inspire and it doesn't take much. Everybody thinks that it's super difficult. It's very simple, but it's not easy. But if you do one thing at a time, just one, it's simple. Now it's not easy because you need to make the right choices, right? Like it's like staying late every night and drinking, or going to bed and reading a book. And it's just that easy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to do that, but if I really want to get there, I should go home and just read a chapter of a book of these amazing people. And if you do that enough, then magically you get lucky, and then your life changes. But I think just teaching those little tiny things it's key. Like, just make the right choice at the right moment. And that doesn't mean not having fun. We all need it. And we're Latinos.
Yeah, it's part of
that's
our culture.
what we are known for. Party, right?
We love a good party, some good music and dancing.
Right? What would be our community without the happiness? But I think just teach that you can do that, and also be highly, highly disciplined. And so, like you mentioned with Dominic, like he's such a person that grabs your attention on how he lives his life. And he loves his wife, loves his kids, and that's why we align so good, because I love my husband, I love my stepkids, I love my parents. And it's just when you find that other person that is like you, then good things start happening. Like, we were talking with your parents yesterday. My dad was.
Oh, really?
It was phenomenal to see the amount of passion and pride they both had. Like, they were so proud of you, and to see my dad so proud of me. And it's like, now they are exchanging phone numbers, and when you come to Houston again, come to the house, I'm like, wow, like you guys are talking 10 minutes and you're already networking that. Like, what are you doing? And it's just amazing to see that when the right people get together with the right mentors, you follow that discipline, you follow that passion, you follow that happiness, and then other people follow enough to make a big movement.
Absolutely. What's your, I guess, definition of the American dream?
Go grab it and don't get complacent. Put the work, and when you feel you made it, you haven't, because there's a lot more people that depends on your knowledge at that point, and your blessings that other people gave you. Keep that humble mentality, and just like whatever you want. And I don't know, like for me, it's public speaking. I'm selling windows.
You're really good, by the way, at public speaking.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too.
It's one of those things.
I don't know. I know it's a fear, but Gabriel Najeras, the last speaker, he said it's the number one fear, and then death is the second fear.
Yeah, and I'm like,
dude, I like it. Like, I was like, I want to speak more.
Can I do this more?
Yeah.
Like, people pay me more. But it's one of those things that just go, whatever it looks like for you, write it down, put your goal, and put a time and a date of when you want it. If it's a car, if it's learning a second language, if it's whatever it is. Like, it's one of those things that I don't think we should tell people what their dream should be. Whatever it is, write it and go to work for it. And know that you cannot do it alone. Read the right people. Get away of a toxic circle. Like, if all your friends are doing is drinking and partying, you either change them.
That's true.
And we make a book club, like, or something, because I love you guys, but we cannot keep doing this if we want to be successful. Or you get around the right people and put it together. Because if you don't, then it stays only as a dream, and then you blame your life for not getting it when it was your choice in the first place. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I tell a lot of people, I think a lot of successful entrepreneurs, sometimes it could be lonely in an aspect. Of course, you're married, but I guess in the overall scheme of it, we're sometimes alone. And having said that, I'm 26, right? So a lot of my friends that are my age, or quote unquote friends, they
they go out, they party, which is nothing wrong with that, of course, right? But then you start to really look at the routine of a person, the discipline of a person to be successful. And that's why I took myself out. I stopped hanging out with certain people. This is way a long time ago. All my friends are 45, 50. They're doing much better than me. Like Jason, the last guy that spoke yesterday, when I came up, he impressed me tremendously with his knowledge. And I think if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yep.
And that's one of the things, like we are following leadership programs with my husband, and it's like these high level achievers. And back to what Dominic was saying, it's like they are so, like, I'm like, you guys make how many millions? It's like 150 million. And that's the story of Natalie Dawson. She's 31 years old, and she's the president of Cardone Ventures, that is a $250 million company. And I'm like, my gosh, I'm 30 and I'm a sales director of a $6 million. It's like, we have ground to go catch. And when I ask her, like, why do you do this, Natalie? Like you have more money than what you could ever count. You have private jets. And she's like, well, because if I don't do it, who is going to do it? And I'm like, you are so right. And so to be around that people that is just like
driven,
so driven, when we feel that they already make it, but making it for them looks completely different. And I think that's the American dream. You never just stop pursuing, because I think Moises said that yesterday. Okay, I have the house, have the doggy, have the family, have the pools, have the nice vacations, have the cool friends, have the discipline, and then you are like, so what is next, right? And just to have that next thing, it just drives you to do better. And even if the path is lonely and you're not married, like people that read books, like the first book that changed my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad of Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert.
I don't remember every sentence of the book, but this was, the rich don't work for money. And I'm like, wait a minute. The rich don't work for money. And then he follows, they work for knowledge. And I'm like, oh my God. And that changed the way I view work.
Yeah.
It's like money, like,
it's all a relationship too.
Well, it's one of those things, like I always thought when I was little, like whatever, like money makes you successful. And it's not. Successful people attracts money. And if you think even like about Mother Teresa, the lady was like in Calcutta doing, but she was given donations, so she attracted money on some way. And then if you see Grant Cardone, the guy has $1 million Rolex, and he attracts but he's a great speaker. Like if you sit down, it's just this high level great people at what they do. Money just follows. So if you just need to like find out what you want, go do the work, and don't see work as like, oh my gosh, it's just what it is. It's like, enjoy it, love it, embrace it, and money will come. And if it doesn't come, well, you didn't have it in the first place. God gave it to you. So like if you lose it, so what? Let's go grab it. Like, let's go do it again. Like, don't get so hung into counting the dollars. It's like what it means. We don't even see dollars anymore. Now we have like transactions on their phones. We don't even see the money. So it's one of those things that if you lose it, okay, I got knowledge. So the rich don't work for money, they work for knowledge. So I learned something. And if you make it big, how are you going to make an impact of that? Where are you going to invest it? How are you going to help other people? It's just a tool. Just a tool.
What would you say, I guess, for anyone listening, that wants those final words of encouragement or, kind of closing statement to sum up everything with your life? For that young girl, from Ecuador.
Right. Yeah. Well, I do believe that all of us come with an inherited power. And the first person we need to believe is in ourselves. Dominic taught me that one. The first sale we need to make is ourselves every day in what we're capable of doing. So it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter anything. If you have a dream and you have people that looks up to you, just make the right decisions in the right time and do it with integrity and never trying to get others down only pull them up, because if we pull each other up, this beautiful world will be better. And I do have the hope that there is enough good people still, like you, like Dom, like my husband, like my parents, like your brother, that we can make a big impact. And we need everybody to just get out of their comfort zone and go chase their American dream anywhere of the world. So thank you so much, Steven. Congrats on what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Phenomenal.
Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate the support. I'm happy to see you again in November.
Sounds
You'll
great.
be there, right?
Yes. Dominic has given me the opportunity, and it's a lot different because it's more Midwest, and you're gonna meet a lot of German, Irish people that
really?
are phenomenal. But it's going to Italian, and it's just different. So I love to be here because it's more Latino. But once you see like that, success doesn't have a race, a name, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just mindset.
That's all it is.
It's a beautiful event, and we're grateful to have you there too.
Thank you. Thank you guys for supporting it. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.